Hey guys, today we're talking about disability insurance. If you have any questions at the end of the video, leave a comment down below and we'll talk about it together. Disability insurance is a critical protection that most people don't understand enough about. Your car is insured, your house is insured, your life is insured, I hope, but what if you were to get disabled? A good way to look at it is that you're a golden goose, and you have your golden eggs, which are your assets, and they are protected. But what if something were to happen to the golden goose? Who's going to provide an income? Most people have enough saved up for the first few months after an accident. But what happens after that? Who is going to help pay for your monthly expenses? This is very important, especially for parents. What disability insurance does is help protect you and your family if something bad were to happen. What do you think your chances are of even becoming disabled? Well, let's look at some statistics. RBC says 1 in 3 Canadians will become disabled by the time they're 65. And if you are disabled for more than 90 days, the average time you're out of the office is 2 to 3 years. But we live in Canada, home to free healthcare and Tim Hortons. Won't the government help? Well, it's kind of hard to calculate how much you'll get from the government if you were to get disabled for a long period of time, but budget only for about $500 a month from Mr. Trudeau. I know, it's that bad. Jerome, now that's all well and good, but I have a good job, and with it I get disability protection. Ah yes, your benefits package and the disability protection that might come with it. In these cases, it's best to dive a little deeper into what the policy actually protects by acquiring and reading the benefits outline from your plan administrator. Take a look at it. It may surprise you. Workplace benefits often have a waiting period of 120 days. That's 4 months of being disabled before they kick in. And after 2 years of coverage, the definition of disability will change to include any gainful occupation. That means if you can do any gainful job, even if it doesn't pay the same, your coverage will end. And let's not forget about the stat we mentioned earlier. If you're disabled for more than 90 days, you're going to be disabled on average 2 to 3 years. That could be a whole year of disability with no coverage in place. Also, that disability coverage through work sometimes includes offsets, meaning that they will deduct any other sources of income that you're eligible to receive while you're disabled. Alright, let's do the math. Let's say someone who is making $30,000 a year after taxes were to get disabled for 5 years. If they have no other protection in place, the CPP will kick in after about 120 days and offer $500 a month to support them. After 5 years, they only receive about $30,000 total from the government. Taking into account the $150,000 that they could have made, minus the $30,000 of coverage that they did get, they are in a loss and a deficit of $120,000. Now let's look at the same person getting disabled for 5 years, but they have some protection through their workplace benefits package. CPP kicks in and there are reduced benefits after 120 days. After 2 years, this person has limited mobility, but can still work, so the benefits stop. They don't want to go back to work yet, so they continue claiming CPP for the remaining 3 years. Taking into account the $150,000 they could have made, minus the $66,000 that they did collect, they are still at a loss of $84,000. And finally, let's look at someone who has independent coverage that starts after 60 days and covers them until age 65 if they were to get disabled. The benefits would kick in after 60 days of being disabled, only 2 months, and bring her up to $2,000 a month. And then CPP kicks in after 120 days or 2 months after that, bringing the total to $2,500 a month. The whole time they're disabled, the disability coverage and the CPP on top of it helps cover her expenses and keeps her earning about the same she would have made. At the end of it, with $150,000 of potential income during that same period, she was able to bring in $145,000 income, which means during the disability and that hard time of life when she couldn't go to work, she only lost $5,000 over 5 years. That's amazing! Sorry to burst your bubble, but this needs to be understood before you get disabled. What will your income be if you are to get disabled? Does your workplace benefits package protect you when you're not at work and you're at home with your kids? Or what if you get injured driving into work? Will the coverage be enough? Let's have a conversation and we'll talk about it together. I've been Jerome Bass. Stay safe. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in next week when we explore the exact same 3 scenarios, but this time the disabled person has a $1,500 a month bill that they have to cover, whether that's rent, mortgage, a car payment, or groceries. We'll look at exactly what that has an effect on for their net worth. All right, have a great day. Workplace protection. What? That's equal to 80. Oh my golly, I gotta redo the math.